Hey folks, welcome to Economic Observations. My name is Chris and thank you so much for watching. Today we're going to talk about moratoriums and forbearances on mortgages and on paying rent. Right? We're going to talk about the housing market and where I see it going. And again, this is not rocket science. This is just sit down and think about it and what's going to happen to millions of homeowners. All right. So there are three ways that your mortgage in forbearance can end. There can be a reinstatement, a repayment plan, or a mortgage modification. And we're going to talk about those three ways. And it is already predetermined in your mortgage that if a forbearance happens, this is the terms of your forbearance, right? A lot of people don't understand it. They think that once they put their mortgage in forbearance that the payments due or the amount just gets tacked onto the back of the loan. They didn't read the fine print. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how it's going to end. I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you know anyone on a mortgage forbearance? And what are their assumptions? Were they on it for a short time, or are they on it for the long term? I mean, we know that over 700,000 individuals have been losing their jobs for the past year now, with no end in sight in the job markets. And even if jobs are coming back, they're not good jobs. And I also think that we're not finished with COVID, and I think this reopening is going to be short-lived, and a lot of people will once again lose those kind of jobs. But that conversation is certainly for another day. So reinstatement. If your lender in the agreement that you signed has a reinstatement, it means that at the end of the forbearance and the end of the emergency, you have to come up with every payment plus interest and penalties. So to make it simple, if you owe $2,000 a month on your mortgage and you have been in forbearance for 15 months, you must come up with $30,000 plus interest plus any penalties, right? So I don't know about you, but I would certainly have a hard time after the past year to come up with $35,000 to $40,000 to pay off that amount due. That is a reinstatement, right? So at the end of the forbearance, it is said in your paperwork that this is how your forbearance is going to end. There is also a repayment plan where the lender might say, okay, you have 15 months to pay that $35,000 off, and they might add those payments to the first 15 months or 12 months of your mortgage. So if you were paying $2,000 a month, now you're going to be paying $5,000 a month for the next 15 months to cover any interest, any penalties, and those monthly payments that you missed. And then there is the mortgage modification, which can have a negative effect on your credit rating. A mortgage modification totally restructures your mortgage. I mean, if you're struggling to avoid forbearance, you can have a mortgage modification, which can offer you help to stay in your home. It changes the repayment terms on your existing home loan, and it also lowers your monthly payment. Mortgage modification is a significant change your lender makes to your loan terms when you are about to miss a payment. Lenders use different methods to modify the mortgages, but the main goal is to prevent foreclosure. So you get to stay in your home, and the lender avoids the expense of seizing and reselling your property. Also, not all lenders offer this. So if you're thinking that you're going to have to go into something like this, and I believe a lot of people are, make sure that it's even an option. Mortgage modification will also have a negative effect on your credit rating. So don't be fooled thinking that you're going to walk away scot-clean. And also, it will lower your monthly cost, thus increasing the overall amount paid. So it's similar to a refinance, but it's not a refinance because it's on your lender's terms, right? And your lender could increase the interest payment. Many people might opt to refinance it on their own, but without working and without a history over the past 12 months or 15 months of having income, it's going to be awfully hard to refinance. So you might be at the mercy of your lender. And I don't think they're going to make it very favorable to you. I mean, right now, the housing market is robust. People are overbidding for houses, right? If there's a house for sale, it often sells for over asking price, which is absolutely crazy. And how is this going to end? What happens when the millions of homes in forbearance are suddenly on the market, right? How many can make those balloon payments, or how many can pay those missing payments in the next 12 months and double up? And if a lot of lenders don't do the modification, people are going to be forced into foreclosure. Thus, we're going to have an enormous amount of houses on the market. And people are going to have nowhere to live. You can't put things in forbearance forever. And the moratorium on renters is going to have the same effect. Because not only are they going to owe in full all the amount that they have deferred, but the landlords are going to pass on the penalties to them as well. You know, these are small-time landlords I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the big corporations that own a lot of real estate, who are still evicting people as we talk. It's a small-time landlord that's having a really tough time. I was reading an article about this woman in Brooklyn, 33 years old. She bought her first house. She didn't want to move into it right away, so she rented it out and had someone pay her mortgage for her. She's living in her car now. Not only can she finish making the payments and pay the taxes and everything else that's due on it, her hands are tied. There's moratoriums for these renters that are beyond COVID, and people are getting away with not paying rent. I know it's been a year, and I know people are tired of COVID, but we all know that plateauing doesn't mean it's gone. We're still having 60,000 new cases a day. This forbearance, maybe people just want the forbearance to continue on. Maybe they want the moratoriums never to end. And I'm just afraid that a lot of people are going to be in for a rude awakening when the forbearance ends. And folks, I think the housing market's going to tumble. Look at commercial real estate. I think residential real estate's going to have the same fate. All right, anyway, that's just what's on my mind. Thought I would share it with you. I always enjoy talking to you. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't, please subscribe. And we'll talk again real soon. Have a great day.